what's up, guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I'm Jess, and today I have my sister here. She's in town.
Hi.
This is her first time on camera, so say hi to Jocelyn.
Hey.
So today we're having turkey burgers from one of my mom's favorite recipes for turkey burgers. And then you're gonna make, what would you call that?
That's a stewed okra.
A stewed
like
okra.
a sauteed or stewed okra. That was my mother-in-law, Becky Nolan's recipe.
And then I'm also going to do some type of a coleslaw. I have 2 bags of coleslaw here, so I have to figure something out. So we're going to do 2 bags of coleslaw and probably some type of an olive oil based dressing, kind of similar to my protein power plate. And then if you can't find okra, do you think of any other substitutions they could use?
You can use the frozen kind, but it has just a little different texture. If you preferred would be fresh, but yeah.
Well, frozen
Still tastes good. It's just got a different. It's not as like I like it a little al dente, like a little bit of bite to it. So it will be a little mushier if you get the frozen. But
frozen.
Yeah.
Do you have to thaw it first before you do it?
No, I just leave it frozen and throw it in the pan.
Okay.
But this is the best
So
way.
we're using fresh okra, and about how much would you say here?
Let's see, I don't know if it puts it on there.
We're gonna-
It's about just a little under 2 pounds, so about 1.5 pounds.
Okay, and do you trim these all up and
Yep.
all that?
I'll
Okay.
show you the pieces when we.
I'm used to eating okra at restaurants. I normally don't make it myself. I think I've only made it once, so she makes it all the time. But
Yeah.
we are going to be, being that it's the total carb challenge, we're going to get weights of everything, and we'll let you know the exact recipe. Also, the recipe for my mom's turkey burgers, which you'll see next, will also be down below. Everything's at KetoRewind.com. So I guess let's get started on making some stewed okra.
Hi, and welcome back. Jess asked me to make my turkey burgers for her challenge. So this is what I did. And unfortunately, I already made them this morning, so you didn't get to see the process. But the need for that, making them ahead of time, is turkey is so soft. So I usually make them up ahead of time, and then I let them set in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. And sometimes if I have extra, I'll freeze them, because they're easier to work with on the griddle or the grill once they've sat up in the fridge and kind of formed up a bit. So what I do is I also use a press for the turkey because it's so sticky. And I have a press. This one is for sliders, but it also comes, it nests in
that size.
Yeah, it nests in this size. That's in the dishwasher. But you know, you can get any press, but I think there's going to be a link below to this particular press. And like I said, this one's for sliders, and then there's a bigger size for the regular burgers. So what I do is, obviously to make 12 turkey burgers, I use 3 pounds of ground turkey. And what I also do is, if you see there, it's really kind of small diced. I dice up any peppers that you have, but I like to have the color. So I usually use a green and an orange, or a green and a red, or a green and a yellow. That gets diced up, and also along with the purple or the red onion, same thing, dice it really small. Put that into the raw meat, and then at least about, everybody, you do you. We like a lot of garlic, so I use granulated garlic. So I put a good probably 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic over the 3 pounds of meat. I also add salt and pepper to taste. And then the other thing I add is 2 teaspoons of oat fiber, not oat bran, not oat flour, but oat fiber. All right. And that is, again, what I'm trying to replace your breadcrumbs. And if you have, like, I suppose you could use chicharrones. I think you could also use.
Does anybody feed this dog? Speaking that, whoa, hi, who are you?
I'm the sister.
You're the sister?
Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Jocelyn.
Oh my goodness, I found you again.
Live long and prosper.
They came in, that's why she's barking.
That's
They're
right.
whining at us.
Okay, so 2 teaspoons of the oat fiber. And again, I'm trying to find something to bind these things up with, so I use the oat fiber. Also, 2 teaspoons of the psyllium husk, and about 3 tablespoons of almond flour, and about 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And 1 to 3 eggs. you'll know by how sticky it is. You want that meat to form up. So whatever, we have really big eggs right now from the farm. So this actually only took one really big egg. But normally I do 1 egg to 1 pound. And then you just form them. I do spray because turkey is sticky. I put the wrap down and I do spray it with coconut oil or olive oil, just so that it'll be easier when it's time to go on the griddle. Let them stay like this. I cover them up with foil and it stays. These have been in the refrigerator probably 3 or 4 hours. And even after 3 to 4 hours, you see it's still very, very soft. So a good fresh turkey burger isn't firm and hot solid because we don't put the breadcrumbs in them. So that's
All right.
it. That's my turkey burgers.
And with that said, how are we cooking them? Pop.
It's gone now.
The griddle is clean. We're going to put down some butter and put them on the griddle, on the gas grill.
All right.
The stainless steel griddle.
All right. All right. So I have a camp scale here. This is a smaller version of the one I have in Texas, but it does the job. And the reason I like this one is because the screen normally on both of them sits in here, but if you have a plate or something, the screen will pull out and you can still see the screen. So obviously I've zeroed it out and we're going to get a raw weight of all the vegetables that go in here. And this way you can get the total carbs. Okay, so we have 1 pound, 5 ounces total of okra. So write that number down. This is how you're going to create your recipe. And now we have 6 ounces total of diced up white onion. So we have 10 ounces, 10 3/4 ounces of tomatoes.
See right there.
All right, so there's the main ingredients, the main stars of the show, and let's put it together. So I'm going to back up so you can film.
All right, well, I need to light this up first. This is gas, so it's going to cook a little faster. Basically what you want to do, and since you're keto, so you can get a little fat in there and not have any issues, get a nice hot pan going, and you want to cook your onions first because they take a little bit longer. And I like I told you earlier, I like my okra to have a little bit of body to it and like almost what you'd call al dente. So I don't want it super soggy or mushy, so I leave it somewhat what maybe you would find not raw, but it's got bite, it still has its structure. So that's why I want to cook these onions first, because they're going to take a little bit more time. And one of the best ways to get onions to cook, add a little bit of salt, and that draws a lot of the liquid out and allows it to saute quicker.
Here's probably a 1/4 teaspoon salt.
Yeah, a little salt, probably get a little pepper on here, although pepper usually I save to the end because it can burn. But it's always nice to get a little bit of this going at the beginning. So right now we just got some translucent onions happening, but I like a little bit more caramelization where you start getting some color on there. So we're almost there.
All right, and now we have some color showing through. So what are we doing next, Joss?
We're going to add the okra in because we've really kind of cooked that rawness out of the onion, which is the whole purpose here, and starting to caramelize. And now we're just going to get this okra starting to cook. And just like the first time here when I threw the salt on there, it just helps get the water out of the okra, which the okra is full of water and kind of like a stickiness, which is what turns a lot of people off. So when you cook it, that really kind of goes away. So I know if you're probably familiar with fried okra, but try it this way. I promise.
Healthy and delicious.
These little seeds that you have here, they're like little nuggets of goodness and bursts when you bite into it when it's cooked. It's the coolest vegetable. It really is one of my favorites. Just get past that whole idea that it's gross and slimy, because it's actually not.
No, it's delicious. I love it.
So now we're going to saute it while the onions continue to cook. That's why we don't want to get too much color on them. And then in a little bit, we'll add the tomatoes last.
So simple and just a few ingredients, you know?
So delicious.
Makes a great side dish. You could bring this to a summer barbecue.
Yep, you sure could. cook it a big batch for the week and eat off of it. It reheats fine.
I mean, this is at least 8 servings.
Or you could serve it over cauliflower rice. It's almost like okra and rice, but you can use cauliflower since you're low carb instead, and it's still really good.
Well, that's a good idea. I see somebody's over on this side here. What's up, Dad? Does it smell good?
It smells great. I'm ready to start the grill.
Our guard dog is real busy over here.
You still filming? Because if so, we can add just a little bit more, as you can see. I mean, it's coated, but I personally like a little bit more fat in there at this
Me
point.
too. Load
So
up the fat.
we're just
We're using
gonna give it
avocado
another-
oil.
Yeah, we're just gonna give it another
Probably
drizzle.
tablespoonish.
Yeah, another tablespoon, just to keep it from getting too sticky, or keep the flavor in there. You can see our onions continue to cook, and they're getting that nice brown that we're looking for over here.
Okay. All right, we'll be back in a few more. Okay.
So see here, you get a little bit of the stringiness that people get really kind of turned off about okra, but that's a good indication that it's about ready for the tomatoes to join the party here. So it's not too cooked yet. It's still got some of its raw, like a couple of these pieces just be almost room temperature, which it is. You can see me picking it up. That's a good indication that it's time now to add the tomatoes. And like I said, you can use cherry or grape tomatoes, which add a little bit more sweetness, but I cut up some like a beef steak, which is what we had here. I'm just gonna throw it in, join the party.
Like stewed tomatoes.
Like a stewed tomato. And then also at the same time, again, we're gonna add a little bit more salt to these, because we wanna take that water out, extract the water while it cooks. And we always wanna layer seasoning too. And this is probably one of the great things to add to it. If you wanted to be dangerous and add fresh garlic, that's fine, but I feel this is the way I was taught, and this was the recipe that was shared with me through the mother-in-law, Becky, is to get a little of this garlic powder in there as it cooks. And be liberal with it. So maybe a teaspoon of it or so, but it's kind of to your preference. I like this flavor of onion. This is not part of it, but I just like to add a little bit more. So I throw a little bit of onion in there, but that's my preference. You don't have to do that.
If you want to get really fancy,
Yes.
deglaze the pan with Marsala wine.
Any kind of dry wine.
This is optional.
Or for us, we're Italian, so we always have Marsala in the kitchen. But this is
Always
a
get the
great
dry,
way.
not the sweet.
Yeah, this is a great way to just add one more layer and just kind of do this. That's it. That's all. You just want a touch of it. You don't want to drown the little
Probably like 2
guys.
tablespoons.
Yeah, that's probably good. It's got a nice little flavor, and we're gonna stir them all up, but not overcook. That's just key. So the tomatoes go in last because they just really want to still hold some body, but we're just basically heating them up, if that makes sense. Because this is almost ready.
All right.
So here's a good indication that we're pretty much ready to be done. You get that this little strings. This okra has had the Marsala added to it, which at this point is cooked off, but left us a little bit of residual flavor. And the fun little treat I'm going to do here for y'all is get this butter. So, well, this one's salted, so we'll make sure to not add any more salt after this. And just kind of finish it off. This is a good little chef trick. Butter adds a ton of flavor, so I'm going to do about
That's a
a
tablespoon.
tablespoon or so, and just throw it in there and turn the heat off with a little bit of pepper. And if it wasn't salted butter, I would add a little bit more salt at this point.
All
And
right.
at that point, you have your, I would call this Becky's stewed okra. And it's so delicious. I promise you won't be able to just eat a couple bites. You'll be really filling your bowl up with this. It's so delicious. Really lets the vegetables come through, and they highlight each other perfectly.
Alrighty, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so it's time to make the vinaigrette. I have a 1/4 cup of avocado oil and then a tablespoon of powdered monk fruit sweetener. It's Lakanto. And then I'm going to do a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. You can adjust those combinations for taste. Some salt, pink salt, and a little garlic powder. And then I just take a little whisk and whisk it all together so everything's combined. Adjust this. If you want more sweetener, add more sweetener. If you want more tang, add more vinegar, and then some salt. I'm just using a bag of shredded cabbage. It's a 10-ounce bag, and I'm just putting that in there and gonna take some tongs and toss that around. So instead of using like a mayonnaise-based dressing, this one's a more oil-based. So it's a healthier dressing, and this combo tastes really good. All right.
That coleslaw is so good.
All right, well, here is the finished product. So we have the grilled turkey burger. I swirled some mustard, yet just plain yellow mustard. We have the okra, just a small serving because there is carbs in that. And then the coleslaw with a like a vinaigrette type dressing on it to get some extra fat, good fat. So there you have it. Say hi, Joss. Good job.
Hi.
Hi.
And for all those wondered, yes, my kids eat this way too.
And
Yeah.
so do I.
What about you, Kyle? All right, we'll see you at the next video. And now it's time to take a peek of the macros. So I ended up with 20 total carbs. My macros say to do 19, but I'm just sticking to 20 total. But my day was pretty great. I should have improved a little on my protein by adding an egg to my turkey burger. But you know what? It's okay. I wasn't super hungry or anything. So this basically what I had for the day, that scrambled egg thing my mom made. So I basically just input all those ingredients. And then when it came to the okra that my sister Jocelyn made, that was higher in carbs. So I would recommend, dividing that recipe into 10 or 12 at least. Overall, it wasn't bad though. I thought it was actually going to be worse. Because I thought okra was higher in carb than it actually is. So bonus to that, I will make sure to eat that more often. My mom's turkey burger recipe, also, I'm going to link down below both of these recipes so that you can make them. And so that was all that was in the turkey burger recipe. That's made 12 patties. And then obviously my coleslaw with the vinaigrette dressing, that was about 4 servings. And I thought that was going to be my side. I didn't think I was going to be able to eat the okra carb-wise, but it ended up, everything worked fine. I just had to adjust my portions. That's why planning ahead is key. And then obviously I had I didn't show it, but my keto coffee, which is unflavored collagen and 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. So all in all, I had a great day. When I was eating dinner, I was a little hungry. So I had a second patty. So I had 2 turkey burgers instead of just the one. All right, that's it.